All right, Mr. Speaker, let's move on to another big issue, abortion. You just saw in our new poll there's an historic gender gap in the election. In addition to that, the top motivating factor in this election is abortion. Donald Trump has proudly says he takes credit for overturning Roe v. Wade. He also says he would veto a national abortion ban. Let me put this to you. If you are, again, Speaker of the House, do you pledge not to hold a vote on any legislation that would ban abortion?
No, Kristen, listen, this is really important what you just did there. We watched 4 minutes, Steve Kornacki showing all the numbers that Donald Trump is surging ahead, that Kamala Harris is dropping in the polls. The only bright spot for her was abortion, and that's what Steve just said. That's good news. When abortion is your only good news in an election, we need to be talking about what people really care about. I've been traveling around the country, okay? I've done campaign events in over 224 cities in 40 states. I'll do many more this month. I'm on the road again this morning. Everywhere I go, Kristen, and I go to blue states and blue districts, swing districts, the number one concern on everybody's mind is the cost of living. Right after that is the wide open border that the border czar Kamala Harris enabled and put together, all the catastrophe that comes from that. They're worried about the weakness on the world stage that Biden and Harris have projected, which has gotten us into the most dangerous situation since World War II. That's what matters to people. That's why Trump is surging in the polls, and that's why we are going to win this election, the White House, the Senate, and the House.
But, Mr. Speaker, just to the substance of my question, I understand there are other big issues, but on this big issue, which is critical to a lot of voters as well, do you pledge, if you are in fact Speaker of the House again, not to bring any legislation up for a vote that would ban abortion at the federal level?
We're nowhere in a universe where that would be possible right now. The next commander-in-chief, Donald J. Trump, has said this is an issue in the states right now. That is exactly what the situation is.
But he said he would veto. He said he would veto. Yeah.
You want me to answer the question? Let me answer the question, okay? Before you can have political consensus on a divisive issue, you have to have cultural consensus. Remember, politics is downstream from culture. We don't have that right now. There's a lot of difference of opinion out there in the states, and we've got to work through all that. And those of us who are pro-life and believe that life is sacred and that everybody should have the chance to be born and to live. I mean, I'm the product of a teen pregnancy myself. This is my life story. Yeah. I believe that that's an important issue. But I've got to build a cultural life. I have to build a cultural consensus. We're nowhere near that in this country. We know that. So there's a lot of work to do. Donald Trump said this is a state's issue. He's going to be the commander-in-chief. That's the end of the story.
But, Mr. Speaker, you co-sponsored the Life at Conception Act. You are the Speaker of the House. The Life at Conception Act would have effectively banned abortion at the federal level. So I think a lot of people want to know where you stand on this, because Donald Trump has said that he would veto a national abortion ban. So can you say that you wouldn't move to try to ban abortion at the national level? I understand there's not a consensus, but would you move to ban abortion at the national level?
I couldn't do that even if I wanted to, Kristen. I have 434 colleagues. I mean, I'm a Bible-believing Christian. I believe in the sanctity of life. That's my view doesn't change. But there's no way I could bring that bill in Congress right now. We wouldn't even, we couldn't even get I don't know, it would be a very small vote right now, okay, even among Republicans. So we have a lot of work to do. The pro-life organizations and groups are out there doing what they do. We need to show that we care for women at all stages of pregnancy and all stages of life, and that's what we are. We're for families. We're for IVF. We're for the everything that allows for that, and we need to take care of these ladies who are in difficult situations with their pregnancies. That's what the states are doing very effectively. Crisis pregnancy centers and others around the country, care pregnancy centers. There's a lot of great work being done, and we need to have dialogue and conversations about this issue. But there's not a bill coming to Congress because we're nowhere near any consensus to do that.
You're saying a lot of states are doing this effectively. Some women have come forward and said their lives are at risk because of some of these laws in place at their states.